Well, Andy, thank you for your patience. My Wi-Fi, as they say, shart the bed.
No problem. Happens to the best of us.
And usually it doesn't. Let me make sure this doesn't blow us out. No. So I'm just going to put welcome to part two, all caps. I don't know why I'm doing all caps. Let me take the all caps off. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm sorry about that. That is all on me or my technology in my studio. Wi-Fi just went up. So, all right, we're back. Andy Schectman, returning guest. Awesome. I didn't even provide the right plug, but you are CEO and founder of milesfranklin.com is where people can go. And we'll talk a little bit later how people can benefit from a very special offer that you provided this show, Decentralized Directory. But where were we? We were talking about
How the cost of money have gone up.
yeah, housing inflation, mortgages, etc. So let's use an example of somebody who bought a home for 500,000 and in a very short period of time, relatively, it's up to $1 million and everybody is thinking, woo hoo, we're rich. Can you pop that balloon for us, Andy
Yeah, well,
Schectman?
I mean, in fact, I was just doing this for my niece the other day. I actually had it written down in an email I sent to her, and I said, "Look, the house that you bought for $400,000, your rates are 2.75%." I said, "You really can't move because your mortgage payment is 1,600 a month, and today that same house, that same mortgage at 8.25% is 3,000 a month." So the cost
Wow.
of money in the past year and a half has gone up 87.5%.
See,
And so
that
you
is
end up,
beautiful. Thank you
yeah.
for doing this analysis because I think sometimes we go too fast and things go over people's heads. But that's exactly right. Because what is your BATNA, best alternative to a negotiated agreement? Or a BATNA in this case is what's your alternative if you do sell your house? Because yes, the cost of money has gone up. What was that? 3x,
90%. Well,
90%?
90% in the past year and a half, but I mean, the mortgage rates have gone up,
Right.
from they've gone up about 300% in terms of their percentage gain. But when you take a look at how that actually works out in terms of the cost of money, look, the bottom line is simply this. You got the price of housing that's gone up, 30, 40% or more, or a
Yep.
lot higher. You got the cost of money that's gone up 90%. This is just in a year and a half, 2 years, where
Right.
if you sell your house at a very nice gain, if unless you're paying cash, if you have to borrow money again, you're going backwards because the cost of money went up so much
Yes.
that it's costing you so much more for the same loan. This is why people are locked into their residential real estate. Commercial real estate's different. Most of it is non-recourse, and these are corporations that can just go bankrupt and say, "I'm sorry, take the keys, we're done." But with the residential real estate, it's a little bit different. And so, a 2.75% mortgage sounds fantastic, Todd, but lose
Yeah.
your job. And how hard is it or how easy is it to maintain your payments, to service the debt? When you look at the country right now, 65% of the people in this country are paycheck to paycheck, and
Right.
45% earning over six figures are paycheck to paycheck as well.
Let me ask you this question. Just again, this is a bit of education, maybe for some of those people who are younger, who might be getting into the years where you're considering getting a home and getting a mortgage. Andy, with these crazy inflation rate, or I mean, these interest rates, why would anybody ever acquire an adjustable rate mortgage?
Well, I mean, in an era where, when going back to what we were talking about before your internet went down, the banks and all these people were incentivized to do that because interest rates are going to stay low forever, right? I mean, and they
Yeah.
did for a very long time. And
Yeah.
so an adjustable rate mortgage would basically be like, well, that house is way too much for us to afford. So if we buy this adjustable rate mortgage now, hopefully we'll have more money in a few years, but by the time it has to reset, and when it resets, rates might even be lower because they've been going down for so long. Well, lo and behold,
Right.
rates went higher. So an adjustable rate mortgage is usually like a 7-year arm where they'll entice you by saying, okay, for the first 7 years, you'll pay 3%. But at the end of that time, the loan has to reset to the prevailing market rates. Well,
Yes.
that's a very dangerous proposition. Now, maybe someone is saying, look, I'm selling a business and I have a purchase agreement and they're going to pay me half right now and then the rest over the next 3 years. By the time it's all said and done, I'll have plenty of money. I mean, there are reasons why you might need to take an arm, a legitimate reason, but
Yeah.
I would argue most people take those adjustable rate arms because they're, again, buying more than they should, and they're not looking at anything past, the 7 years. And
this becomes very cyclical, doesn't it? I remember back in 2008, that crisis, they were basically what these arms allow people to do is acquire a mortgage, and they shouldn't have it. I mean, they should not qualify for this mortgage,
right.
But because of what the banks were doing behind the scenes, selling the mortgages, all of that, they didn't care. They don't care about you. So these people are getting in way over their heads.
Well, let's think about that for 1 second. So the banks didn't care, but look at it now. So the banks bundle those mortgages, have them on their balance sheet as an asset. Mortgage rates have gone way higher, making the bank's balance sheet way more fractured, over leveraged and undercapitalized. But so the banks were hoodwinked by the Fed as well into thinking rates stay low forever. So sure, go ahead and make these loans, and the rates haven't stayed low. In fact, they've gone up faster than at any time in history. They haven't gone up high enough, in my opinion, to really combat inflation, but faster than most people would have expected. Certainly the lending institutions who were blindsided by this, as much of the investing public. And you could see it in auto loans as well. Look, you can buy that new F-150 0% down for 72 months. Well, you don't get those anymore. Now they're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 auto loans, and where they used for years were 0% for 72 months.
Right.
How does that happen? 6-year loan at 0%. Well, that you don't see that anymore, and so that's why you're seeing.
But how did they afford to do that then? Just because they would get it out the door at their margin on the vehicle?
Yeah, I mean, they made a little bit, but the cost of financing that for 7 years is certainly not what they wanted to do. It's just what they guess were forced to do in that environment. But not only that, now you look at these subprime auto loan repossessions and delinquencies, they're going straight off the chart. And you're going to see more and more and more of that because people were incentivized to go deeper into debt with interest rates that seemed to be at zero bound range forever. And so, if rates are zero and money is free, well, you know what? I'm making enough money. I can service that debt. Another way of talking about that is, what's really, really crazy when you talk about the homes. Just a year ago, you only needed a $60,000 a year. 2 years ago, a $60,000 a year salary to afford a home, and now you need, it's gone up almost like 80% in a year. You need $140,000 a year to afford a home.
Right.
Rates have gone up. The housing market has gone up. So the affordability, because of rising rates, has been massively hammered. For most people, this is something that is unobtainable right now. So it's
I'm sorry, Andy, but I just don't think that incomes are increasing at an equal pace. Are they?
No, they're not. They're not even keeping pace with inflation, let alone rampant increase in rates and in real estate prices, which outpaced.
So what's going to happen? Be Andy Damas here and tell us what's going to happen in a year if this continues, 3 years, 5 years for homeowners.
Well, I think the banks are in big trouble first because the banks have $1.7 trillion in loans and leases to commercial real estate that are all going to reset within the next year and a half till 2025. And you're talking a very, very, very bad environment where these regional banks hold 70% of all the small business loans and 70% of all the commercial real estate loans and leases. They're in a very bad position, number one. Number two, again, if you look at almost every mortgage on the books in the United States, almost every single one of them, with the exception of very few that just were signed recently, will be under the current rates. In other words, people are locked into lower rates. And it's very difficult for them to move because, as we said, you can't even move laterally, even with the gain that you make and the increased value of your home, this illusionary increased value.
Yes.
Because you end up going backwards. So there's a little bit of a stalemate in the residential area. The commercial real estate will start first, but when the commercial real estate blows, that's another way of saying a lot of the companies that are associated and tied to those loans and leases go upside down. So the economy starts to slow down. The economy starts to head into a recession. The economy starts to head into stagflation, perhaps, or maybe even something worse. And so when that happens and people lose their jobs and the economy really slows down and the servicing of all of this debt, remember, 65% paycheck to paycheck, 45% over six figures, paycheck to paycheck, you lose your paycheck, you're screwed. That's when you begin to see the residential real estate run into trouble. And so first commercial, then residential. And along the way, a lot of regional banks go upside down as a result, which creates panic and probably accelerates a lot of these timelines, I think, probably exponentially even.
So let's talk precious metals. And for everybody, let me just do a quick screen share here and reintroduce Andy Schectman, founder and CEO of Miles Franklin. So you can find him at milesfranklin.com, and you can go and you can acquire as much gold as you can afford. I will tell you, let me go here, if you don't mind. I'm going to go to decentralizeddirectory.com. And if you go, this is my website. And if you go down to our key partners section where you see different logos here, and you click here to explore, Andy has provided Decentralized Directory a really nice offer for people who basically let them know that Todd sent you. For an order of $1,500 or more, you will get a free Silver Eagle. So you click here on Learn More. You're just going to go there to the website. I actually have to correct that because it should go to, hold on, Learn More. It should go to here. And that's where I explain to you a little bit more about Andy and Miles Franklin. And at the bottom, it will tell you, do not hesitate, email or call. So from direct purchase of precious metal coins, blah, 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 receive a free Silver Eagle. Let me see what that does. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Simply email or call Miles Franklin and request a digital PDF of their current inventory. Correct. If your email, I need to change that. If your email two typos there. If your email includes Todd sent me in the subject line. No, if your email, I have to fix that. Sorry, everybody. If you call, be sure to tell the certified precious metals broker Todd sent me. Then with an initial order of $1,500 or more, you will receive a free Silver Eagle. Email, and then the phone number is right there. So that's how you can take advantage of that offer. And again, it'll take you to his website. And let's see. Here's an American Eagle. You love American Eagles, don't you, Andy?
I do. If I'm going to buy gold and silver, my first choices are going to be the gold and silver American Eagle. I think they carry the greatest amount of demand, and with all of these, and by the way, as you can see, we only allow online pricing up to $10,000. So our pricing on the PDF that people will request will be far more competitive than these prices, much better.
Exactly.
But nonetheless, if I'm buying gold and silver, the American Eagle are my choice. And with almost 15 states in America that have passed legal tender laws saying that coins made by a sovereign mint, like the U.S. Mint, would be allowed to be applied towards all debts, public and private, including paying your property tax, to me, there's a lot to be said for a coin like the Silver Eagle. And you'll notice that's $1. You're not getting $1 for it. You're getting the melt value plus market premium. And
Right.
$1 signifies that it's legal tender, and that's one of the prerequisites in these laws that we're seeing in Texas, Wyoming, Nevada, Utah, Idaho, Alaska, Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, North Carolina, and on and on and on. All of these states are realizing that gold and silver are money and have been for 5,000 years. And history doesn't exactly repeat, but it is rhyming in this case, something I thought I would never see, and that is states accepting this as actually as money. So I like the American Eagles for many reasons, that being a significant one.
Yeah, I tell you, and I've shared this story with you before, but I acquired a good bit of silver, and they do come in this great packaging, and there's just something therapeutic about holding that right there in your hands. And what I did ever since my grandson was born, every year in his birthday card, I give him one of these Silver Eagles, and there's 20 of them in there. So it was just his 10th birthday. He and his parents came over from the UK this week, Wednesday evening. We got together, and it was so nice. And what did he want most before he started opening presents in his card? He's like, "Grandpa, did you give me a Silver Eagle again?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir. You are a smart boy." So that's how you all can take advantage. I want to have a little bit of fun right now, and I'm going to go to
Four diamonds.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I did that magic trick to my grandson. He's starting to get at the age to where he really gets it, and he's like just fascinated. It was so cool. But Andy, I'm sure you have heard all of the stories, right? So when you buy precious metals, unless you are just ridiculously wealthy and acquire so much that there's just no way that you can take self-custody, and I know you have other arrangements for that, but let's talk about the normal person, who might want to just dollar cost average into precious metals. We want them to take self-custody, right, Andy Schectman?
Absolutely. You want to remove counterparty risk. I think counterparty risk is going to be a nasty buzzword or a buzz phrase over the next several years. And the elimination of counterparty risk and realizing that gold and silver are assets that carry that simultaneously carry no counterparty risk. If you can hold it yourself, it's a far better choice. Absolutely.
Okay, so this is where we're going to have some fun. So when you hold them yourselves, okay, most people are probably going to have like a home safe, or maybe the ones that are a little less, sorry everyone, but I'm just going real, a little less, they possess a little bit less critical thinking skills than some of us, and decide they want to put it in a drawer in their master bedroom under some socks or something. Don't do that, please. don't put it in your master bedroom, period. But so people probably put it in a safe at home. But a lot of safes at home are not, people can break into those, or they can even lift them. A lot of the safes that we all have, right? So I've heard people talking about burying their gold even, right? So give us some stories, Andy Schectman, of over the years, what you've heard people have done to be able to take self-custody and then hide their gold.
Yeah, you can put it in a PVC pipe and bury it 2 feet down vertically, not horizontally, but vertically with a rubber cap on it. And there's hardly a metal detector on the planet that will find it.
Really?
Yeah, that's called being a midnight gardener, and nothing wrong with it. I think you could have a decoy safe where you have one safe that would be in plain sight, where it would be filled with things that would appease any would-be criminal. And you hide the rest of the stuff that you have exceedingly well. Under a floorboard, up in the attic, under the insulation, in an empty paint can with paint splashed around the outside of it, and put in the basement with the rest of your half-empty paint cans.
I love that.
You can go to Home Depot and buy an empty can, either a 5-gallon bucket or a 1 gallon can, splash some paint on it, throw it in there. You could take a very large house plant, pull up the house plant, put some stuff underneath it, put the plant down below it. I mean, I've seen all sorts of things.
I bet.
And I think the one thing that most people have that a burglar wouldn't be is time. And you know, if you have time, you could get very creative. You could, you know, cut out a piece of drywall in your closet, in a closet. And if you, well, let me see if I have it here. I might even have something here I can show you. Do I have it? Where is it? Hang on a minute. I don't have it. I thought I had it. Well, I might have given it away to someone. I have a handgun safe, as I believe in Second Amendment.
Yep.
And I had a handgun safe. I think I gave it to one of my neighbors where beep, 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 you know, fingers, biometrics. You just put a 4-digit code or a four buttons in sequence that you program.
Yep.
But all of those bedside safes that you can get in a handgun store also have 2 holes in the back of it. And they're made to be bolted to a wall or to a stud. So you could cut out a piece of drywall.
Right.
Bolt one of those little safes, which are about the size of a safe that you'd find in a hotel room, to a stud in a closet, let's say. Fill it up with gold. And this wouldn't work for silver. It's too big. Silver is too bulky, but gold, yeah. And then shut it, and then put the drywall back on, mud it, tape it, paint it. There you go. I mean, you have time. So, you know, look, I think people have a greater chance of being ripped off by the system than they do by a would-be criminal. People are not in my position of being on YouTube and owning a metals company where I'm forced to use third-party storage facilities just because, you know, everyone thinks my house is gold and silver. It's not. I have some. You know, look, here's some silver coins right here. Right. But you know, I the majority of what I keep, I have to keep in third-party vaults. And for those people who want to do that, I honestly believe we have the best storage program in North America. I truly do believe we are.
Tell us about your storage program.
Yeah,
I've never heard you speak about it.
Yeah, I think we're the envy of the industry. We started it about 14 years ago with Brinks in Montreal. Okay. Subsequently, we've opened up vaults in Toronto, and in Vancouver, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, New York City, Miami, and soon to be Dallas. Now, we have some exclusives that no one else has ever been granted. We have exclusives that they've given just to us. Namely, we have the only relationship with Brinks Miami in North America. We will be one of the only companies in Brinks Dallas in North America. We have the only safe deposit box program they've ever given anyone, and those are in Toronto and Vancouver inside the vault, where they're brand new, state-of-the-art, 1-key safe deposit boxes. You know, most of the time you've used a safe deposit box in your life, you get a key, and whoever administers the box has a key, whether it be a hotel or a bank or whatever.
Right.
You put your key in, they put their key in, box opens, they walk out of the room. Well, this is a 1-key box. You hold the only key and the only spare. Whatever you put into the box, if you can't get up to Toronto or Vancouver, we have it shipped up there for you. It's put into the box under camera with dual custody, meaning at least 2 Brinks employees. Everything is filmed. You get a certificate of what's inside the box, and you get both keys sent back to you with the certificate. Now, if you can't get up there to access it later, to add to it or subtract, you do the same thing. You send up a key with instructions. They will open the box under camera, either make an addition to or subtraction from the box. You get a revised certificate back and your key back if applicable, but it's the only one of its kind. And there are reasons to do that, and it has to do with offshore reporting requirements. Now, I don't want to go too deep into it other than to simply say that the government says that metal held in a offshore account has to be directly held in a non-financial institution. Now, I believe our segregated accounts in Toronto and Vancouver and Montreal are indeed segregated and directly held. I believe that it is segregated, audited, third party. But we asked the IRS for years when we first started this, what do you mean by directly held? And we use two different law firms who would say our client is requesting information on what is directly held. And months and months would go by, and we would continually badger them. And they finally said, we reserve the right to not answer at this time what directly held is in typical IRS speak. So about I don't know, 7 years ago, there was a clarification. And if you look at basic questions and answers form 80, what is it? It's form 89. What is the, I can't believe normally I just rattle that off. It's basic questions and answers form 8938. I want to say it's the FATCA. I think it's form 8938. Takes you right to the website of the IRS. And they basically said that once again, precious metals held in a non-financial institution directly held would be not reportable.
Is this it?
That's it. That's it. So what is a non-financial institution? Well, that would be a company like Brinks, which is a non-financial institution. But what they basically say on this form is that precious metals held in a safe deposit box in a non-financial institution would give you non-reportability. We have the only safe deposit box program they've ever offered.
So you don't have,
it is 100% reading the law to the letter.
Okay,
and,
so help me with this. So what you're saying is you have to file this once, and then after you're not filing.
That goes every single year in July or June or July. It has to be filed, and it's it basically they want to know what you have outside the country. Well, if you have it held directly in a non-financial institution in a safe deposit box, then you don't have to fill this out. Well, we have the only safe deposit box program.
So you're saying this is what people not using your solution have to do every year, and your interpretation, supported interpretation, is that you are exempt from having to file a 8938.
Now, I would say even our audited and segregated program would make you exempt from this. But the only time the IRS has clarified what is directly held, they said an example. Not the example. An example would be a safe deposit box in a non-financial institution.
Okay.
So we parlay that relationship, and we built an exclusive safe deposit box program inside of Brinks, Toronto and Vancouver. And the other thing that we have that no one else has is we have a fixed rate program, where every other storage program you're billed by the number of ounce or by the value of the gold and silver that you hold. We do it by the number of ounces that you have. So as the price goes higher, your rate doesn't go higher. If you're in at silver and the price doubles, with every storage facility in North America, your rate just doubled. Ours it
That's
wouldn't.
Amazing. That's amazing.
And so these are the little things that we have, and they're all third party, and they're with Brinks, and they are regimented as hell. And I use them because of that. I don't trust any company that is holding your metal for you that you bought it from them. I don't like that. There should be separation. And Brinks doesn't mess around, and that's why I like them. They do things by the book. When I go and take part in the audits in Montreal and Vancouver and Toronto, I go up there in the winter. It's cold. If I'm wearing a sweatshirt with a hood or pockets, they make me take it off inside the vault while I'm doing the audit, and I own the company, because they want no chance for anyone to, put something in a pocket, put it in their hood, and walk out. I mean, they're very, 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 very regimented.
So is that why you have that collection of European marble bags?
Exactly. Well, you can read the story about the Royal Canadian Mint employee who was sticking kilo gold bars up his rectum and got
caught. My gosh.
Coming out. I don't know how you do that, because a kilo gold bar is about yay big. So, and you can Google it; it'll pop right up. They caught him walking through the metal detector, but you gotta.
I'm not gonna Google. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I mean, more along the point of how the hell do you get it out once you put it out? I think along those lines. But anyways, actually, on a funny note, I played golf with the guy who's a proctologist, I guess you call it. I asked him, what's the craziest thing he ever saw? He showed me a picture of it, and he said a jar of queso he had to pull out by surgery, a glass jar of queso. Don't ask me. He showed me the picture. He showed me the X-ray, I almost fell over when I saw it. I don't
Oh
know how we
my
went down that road.
gosh.
I don't know how we went down that road, but
I can never unsee that in my mind.
yeah,
Thank you,
I
Andy Schectman.
digress.
All
I
right.
digress. But anyways, yeah, so we have a wonderful program with Brinks, and we have it all
Excellent.
around North America. And if that's a route you need to take, I believe we have the best program, period.
All
And you
right.
can find out more information at preciousmetalstorage.net,
Okay.
preciousmetalstorage.net.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. All right. Well, I said we were going to have a little fun, and I'm going to provide a little insight to you. Probably something I shouldn't, but I'm going to because I love our audience and I think you should know about this specific company. I bought my home about 10 years ago, and I am one of those, I don't know, maybe call me a conspiratard that really thinks what has happened over the last 4 years was going to happen. And so I have been one of those preppers, right? Well, if you get really serious about that, you acquire a lot of different preparation materials for when the zombie apocalypse happens and the proverbial shit hits the fan. It kind of takes up a lot of room, right? And it kind of becomes part of an overall target. So I did some research and I had some space in my home. And before I show this to you, I'm just going to tell you, when I have some friends and family come over who haven't been here, I challenge them. I'm like, find the secret room in my home. and I'm not gonna tell you what it is or where it is, but I'm just going to introduce you to this company to establish, to jumpstart your imagination.
I love it.
Now this company, and I used them, and I'm telling you, phenomenal engineers, amazing engineers. It is called hiddenpassageway.com. And let's go here. I'm gonna hit the reset up here, and let's start from the beginning of their video. We're just going to enjoy watching some of their solutions that they install in different homes.
Hiddenpassageway.com.
Yeah, hiddenpassageway.com. They are amazing. I mean, look at this. Where are you going to find something like this? You know, or let me ask you, who in the hell is ever going to be able to, unless they're in the know somehow, be able to figure out? And it's not only, even if somebody knew, Andy, even if somebody knew, you don't know how to get in. That's the thing with mine that I love so much, is I could point it out to you and just say, there it is.
That's my bar right there. I think that was my bar that they just showed. Oh, I wish.
So door type, or let's go to the gallery here.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so we can just kind of look at.
Are they located in Florida?
No, they're in Arizona. Here, we're just going to have some fun here, and just kind of scroll through here. Now, what the heck is that?
That's for Superman, I think.
That must be, oh, I bet you that gives back access to a room. So you put that in the corner. Okay, that's interesting. But there's a fireplace and boom, you know? So like, it's just amazing. So now, why did I do this? I will tell you why, Andy, is, and I'm giving a little away. I have, you know, I'm prepared for a zombie apocalypse. If somebody comes, I've invested in a lot of lead in my day, and I knew I needed a big ass gun safe. Okay. I didn't want a big ass gun safe taking up room in my garage or anywhere downstairs. And so I started thinking about it, and I started costing out these big ass gun safes. And amazing. And first of all, the ones that you would want that cannot be removed by someone, they are very heavy. And those very, very heavy options, look at that. If I put them on my second floor, there is the very real risk that it could fall through, right? So that became not an option. So that's when I started doing some research, And I realized, well, instead of investing thousands of dollars in that kind of a gun safe and risking it falling through, why not figure out a hidden passageway to a room that we don't need or use? And we had one such room. And so
I just love it.
I found these guys and I reached out to them, and it was just a pleasure of working with them. Now,
So they go anywhere around the country to do work?
anywhere they ship it to you, and then they have their engineers, they build everything there. So based upon what you want, they'll either, I mean, if it's a big enough project, of course they'll come out, but this is an example of something that's not incredibly, it's not unaffordable, and they have options that aren't that aren't going to break the bank, especially when you consider your options. But what they do is they design it, engineer it, and it's flawless. And then they provide the instructions, or they'll get on the phone if you hire somebody to come install it. So I had the product cost, and then I had the installation team that I hired personally, just a local carpenter that, knew how to do this stuff. I think I did it through, oh gosh, what is that list?
I just love it. Angie's List.
Yeah, Angie's List. I looked it up, and there's great, and they were just awesome. But so anyway, I just wanted to show people, this, because it is important for us to, when we decentralize, we want to take custody, but we also want to protect it, right? When you go into my room, I will tell you, above and beyond, the normal stuff that you would presume that I hold in there, I have a section for everything, a section for fire, how to make fire when, nobody else can, or you can't. One, water purification area. Another one, food, 30 days of food storage, if not more. Just obviously guns and ammo, different things, knives, things that you would need if you ever needed to head into the brush, things like that. I will tell you, it was so much food for my soul to do this project. And then over the years, just going in and adding to it and thinking, oh, that's a good idea. When I started to do the co-host the show with Mike Adams, there's all of a sudden I learned a lot more about clean food that he sells, and acquired some buckets. People who know him will know what I mean by that. So, it's just I don't know. This is fun for me, Andy. What do you think of this?
I think it's incredible. I really, really do. I'm going to check it out. I think it's really neat.
Yeah, what I would encourage you to do is and I'll try to find the CEO's name. He's a really good guy. Back then, I'm like, he's a really good young guy. I mean, that's 10 years ago, but engineer, very, very bright. And I love his business, and just very easy to get along with and to brainstorm and such. But you would be the perfect person to, I think you could, if you're interested, could figure out some kind of an affiliate relationship.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, my gosh, you guys could co-promote each other, and I think it would do, and I love co-promotions that do people a lot of good, Andy, to where if we can help people figure out how to acquire precious metals, dollar cost average it, and then be able to take self-custody, and if they are able or capable, and I am going to say he has some options that will not break the bank. So don't let these beautiful videos scare you.
It's really fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, that was the fun I wanted to have today, is just get kind of practical, in terms of self-custody. And I just encourage everybody, go to hiddenpassageway.com and explore and have fun. If not, it's a whole lot of eye candy, and it's kind of fun to just think like, like, James Bond a little bit. So
I think it's fantastic. And you know what? That you can never have too much in the way of safety and security. And it's probably money very well spent. I'm going to reach out
that's
to you for sure.
yeah, please do, and I'll include that in the show notes. What was the your storage option? What was the website on that?
Preciousmetalstorage.net.
Precious metals
No, metal, METAL,
metal
preciousmetalstorage.net. And there's also privatesafedepositboxes.net. Brinks wanted us to have two separate websites for the two separate programs.
private what?
Privatesafedepositboxes.net and preciousmetalstorage.net.
.net. Thank you. I will include those in the show notes for everybody. And well, man, Andy, that's all I have for today. I mean, it's just always great riffing with you. Appreciate the time.
Brother. No, we'll do it again next week. We'll do it every week. I enjoy it as well. You really piqued my interest in this, but I love being part of what you're doing, and this crazy world that we find ourselves in. We'll walk through it together and make comments on it the rest of the year.
And you know what, everyone, I'm going to do my best job as a co-host I always challenge myself, whether it's here or on Mike's show, to be able to bring something new and interesting every week to the table, like hiddenpassageway.com, or some questions for Andy. I'm a fan of Ask Mike Anything on our show at decentralized.tv. People really seem to enjoy that. And I try to, I never am going to ask questions that are like gotcha questions that would make you or anybody. No, these are constructive. These are constructive. I wanted to know the stories about people taking self-custody, burying it, or other stories. That's of interest to me. And I think to everybody, and to be able to just get a little peek into the other side of your brain. So keep coming back, everybody. We sure enjoy having you. And Andy, thank you. My best to your best half, your lovely wife, and wishing you guys a fantastic weekend. And if you go golfing, I wish you an under par score, Andy Schectman.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Are you there?
Very, very much. I appreciate you.
Okay, thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you. All right, everybody in the chat, Monkman, Just a Man, thank you. I'm sorry that we had to do two parts today, but you know what? That's technology for you. We love it when it works, and when it doesn't, we adjust. All right, everybody, until next week,